even if you're a veteran rider and, you know, your other bike is a Hayabusa, you're gonna like riding this bike, I promise. You might not want to admit it to your Busa buddies, but you're gonna love it. I guarantee it. I mean, what other, how better, or, you know, how great of an endorsement is that? I can guarantee that if you're a sport bike rider and you're used to 130 horsepower, you're still gonna love this motorcycle. You just won't admit it. Not around your sport bike buddies. So, is this the bike for you? Are you slightly mechanical? Do you have a dealer close by? You understand that it's slow? Yes, it's the bike for you, as long as you understand those items. And have the dealer support. If you have a good dealer close by, that's a huge plus. I would recommend this bike for, you know, if this is the style of bike you want and you're a new rider, yeah, this or a Scram. If you're not planning on doing a whole lot of off-road riding, get a Scram. Basically the same bike with 19-inch front wheel, and it's lighter. I think it's missing a center stand and other racks, but obviously you can add a rear rack if you want to put a rear rack on one. You can add saddlebags if you want saddlebags, which brings up another point. When did saddlebags turn into panniers, and why is my passenger a pillion? Really? I mean, what? Why? This is America. There are passengers in their saddlebags. Okay, whatever, call them what you want. Anyway, so yeah, I would highly recommend the Scram if you're not going to do a lot of off-road, and even if you plan on some, I mean, the Scram would be perfectly fine on double track with the right tires, obviously. Definitely fine on dirt roads and gravel roads. That 19-inch front wheel, you know, it's going to be a little different, but there are plenty of adventure bikes with 19-inch front wheels. So don't base your off-road ability on that. If you put the right tire on there, you know, it's going to satisfy 95% of everyone's off-road requirement. There's only going to be that 5% of hardcore guys that are going to be like, 19-inch front wheel. Yeah, for the average person, average rider that occasionally goes off-road, 19-inch front wheel's fine. This is fine. It's all fine. Hey, one thing, you guys are lucky that are buying 2023s. You get the new fuel injection, which is hands down better in all regards to this old fuel injection that were on these 2022s and older bikes. Way smoother, no stalling, way better power delivery. It's just all around just way better, way better. If you have a Scram, you already have that fuel injection, so you're not even getting to experience the fuel injection from the older Himalayans, which was, you know, kind of iffy. It's super lean, had weird flat spots in it. It didn't like to idle consistently. It was just, I don't know. It was doable, obviously, because there's thousands of them out there doing it. But it didn't make me happy, that's for sure. Right? That's your gauge. Does it make you happy? If it doesn't, do something about it. If it does, enjoy it. So yeah, if you buy a 2023, you're going to get the updated fuel injection. I think 2021, 2022s there is an ECU reflash to update that fuel injection, and your dealer can do it, and they should do it for free, but lately I've been hearing that dealers are charging for it. What kind of happy horse is that? Like I said, US dealer network, I got no use for them. In fact, they're a black eye for Royal Enfield, if you ask me. So that's your other con for this bike, right? You're on a long trip, something breaks, you ain't got no source for parts. If you're on a Honda, if you're on a Kawasaki, if you're on a Suzuki, if you're on any Japanese motorcycle, guaranteed there's a dealership within 50 miles that can get you any part you want. They may already have it in stock, and if not, they can get it in 2 days. That ain't ever going to happen with a Royal Enfield. And I'm going to be bold enough to say it ain't ever going to happen. Because these dealers are just not, yeah, they're not on board. Let's put it that way. You know, they acquired a dealership license and they sell bikes. Whoop, end of story. Now, that's not all dealerships. Like I said in the beginning of this video, there's some great dealerships out there, but there's some bad ones in regards to supporting the bike. So if you got a good dealer, count your blessings. That's about all I got to say about that. I'm done bad-mouthing dealers. My dealer was not that like that. Like I said, I haven't really dealt with him. I bought my motorcycle over the internet, went down, signed papers, got on it, rode it home. I knew what I was getting. I knew what I wanted. I wanted a bike, an old air-cooled single I could make a dirt bike out of, and that's what I did. 30, 40 minutes on this seat. Feels the same as when I first sat on it. And my butt don't hurt yet. I don't even have any hot spots. So far, good. Seat's good. Front springs, no complaints. Yeah, pretty stiff on the sudden dips, impacts like potholes and things like that, but really didn't affect the smoothness of the ride at all. Not as badly as I thought it would, so that's good. More thumbs up. We'll know more tonight after riding home, right? Another hour and a half in the seat after the morning ride. Should give me a pretty good idea of where I sit on this seat. See what I did there? I guess the good thing about these one of the good things about the Himalayan productions in the US, or imported into the US, with the actual overall production of the bike, is the build quality every year jumps by leaps and bounds. Like literally, the difference between a 21 and a 22. They look identical, but the frame is beefed up, the racks are beefed up, minor tweaks here and there on the fuel injection. They just continue to improve. But 2023 could be the last year, and it's probably going to be the best Himalayan. I can't imagine if they really are going to release a Himalayan 450 that they'll build this bike alongside it. I don't see that happening. I could see the Scram continuing, but not two Himalayans. That would be two completely different motorcycles. That would just be weird. I mean, we don't know what they're doing, right? We don't know if they're building, maybe they're building that liquid-cooled Himalayan 450 for, you know, other markets, not sold in India. I don't know. The media coming out of India is super, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Exaggerated. Those guys are out of control with especially their social media. Good Lord. You would have thought the Himalayan 450 was, you know, been in production for 5 years now. So yeah, if the 450 is real, and it's I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing, I don't see them producing that and this. That just doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? That literally makes no sense at all. So the 2023 could be the last year of the Royal Enfield Himalayan as we know it. And I think it's going to end up being the best year. I'm amazed at how smooth this transmission's gotten after 3,000 miles. I'm only at what, 4,200 miles? Look at that, I've already caught up to this bike on my BMW. That's how much I've been riding that bike and not riding this bike. Yeah, this transmission is just buttery smooth. And it started getting that way after about 3,000 miles. I think because of the metals that they use in the construction of this bike, all throughout the bike. Break-in is actually a real thing on this bike, whereas a Japanese bike, there's not much difference between the day you pick it up at the dealership and 5 years down the road. The same bike. It doesn't really break in. I don't know if that's you know, a sign that they perfected it, or they use better metals, or what, but yeah. Break-in is just not really a thing on Japanese bikes. But it's a huge thing on this bike. The engine got smoother, the engine literally got quieter, and the transmission, you wouldn't even think it was the same transmission. It's that much better. Not crazy. So if we're still recording, looks like we are, here comes my highway section. Speed limit is 60, flow of traffic's 80. Or speed limit 65, I'm sorry. Flow of traffic's 80. I'll probably just stick around 65 because, you know, that's where this bike's happy. Might kick it up to 70. The miles per gallon though drops off significantly above 65, so something to keep in mind if you're tripping. You're gonna lose some miles per gallon at 70 miles per hour that you would have had at 60, 65. Although the thing already gets like 65 miles to the gallon, so you might drop to 60. Ooh, sketchy. Pretty funny how little time people will spend behind me once they read my license plate frame. It says top speed 70 miles an hour. Everybody in California is always in a hurry. Maybe that's why this really isn't that popular of a bike here. The only other Himalayans I've ever seen were at a dealership. Or the demo ride we went to last year. One guy rode up on a Himalayan, as did I. There's a video actually. You can go look at my videos that we made riding. Me and my son's riding various Royal Enfields. But yeah. The other guy that showed up on a Himalayan, that's the only other one I've ever seen in California in 2 years. They're pretty rare here. Almost 70. On the GPS, that's probably 65. my springs in my seat. I can tell already. I keep steering this bike in the direction that I want, and the outcome is almost always good in regards to the changes and modifications. I mean, this is by no means the Himalayan that you're going to get if you go buy one. The Himalayan you're going to get looks like this, or if you get a Scram, it looks like that. But they're probably every bit as good as this bike. This one's just, like I said, slightly modified for me. It's what I want out of the bike. How's the oil temperature? Good. Cylinder head temperature is about 400. So GoPros, they really mask changes in terrain. The steepness of a hill, for example. That was a slight incline there from the bridge to here, and I literally had to give it gas to get up that and maintain speed. You know, and it wasn't much of an incline, so that's how this bike is on the freeway. You're just about tapped out here at 70. Will it go faster? Yeah, this one will go like 82. I can actually pull redline in 5th gear with the carburetor install that I have. But, I mean, do you want to blast around at redline in 5th gear? Probably not. My speed. It literally makes no sense to go any faster than this on this bike. So yeah, here's your all day cruising down the freeway at 70 mile an hour experience. It'll do it. It's not even bad. No different than riding any other enduro dirt bike slash small adventure bike down the highway at 70 miles an hour. I'm pretty sure it'll do it all